talked a lot about development, how important this was. Where are you at now compared to where you were a couple weeks ago?
I feel like I've stepped up as a leader a lot more. Got a lot more comfortable with this offense, decision-making process. It's just all of the above. I feel like I've become a better player overall this spring.
What's the next step for you here moving forward?
Just keep down to the little things, whether it's speeding up my footwork or my decision-making processes, choosing where to go to the ball, or even moving on from my first read. Just little things like that are going to go a long way with me.
Jackson, there's been a lot made of the offensive line and obviously replacing 5 different guys. How have you seen that group maybe develop throughout the spring?
Yeah, I've been proud of those guys. They've really stepped up this spring. You know, we've got a lot of guys injured, as you said, and a lot of younger guys have had to step up into a starter role, and I feel like they've done a great job so far. They've been competing their butts off these past couple weeks. I'm super proud of them.
They've also gone through changes because of injuries or whatever. The fact that they've been able to adapt or new guys have been able to step in, that has to make you feel pretty good about the future a little bit.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, like I said, those guys are resilient. They're tough, and they've been competing their butts off these past couple weeks. So I've been super proud of them and that they've stepped up and actually stepped into that role.
What do you remember from last year this time?
Very stressful. That was, I mean, naturally. So, you know, coming in as a 17-year-old or 18-year-old, however old I was, learning the offense and kind of being thrown into a college environment was different for me and something I had to adjust to. So last year was really stressful, but it was huge for my development.
Is it not as stressful now? I mean, you're a year later, you are the guy, but you still have a new OC and things like that.
Not near as stressful. Knowing the offense helps a lot in the spring. So more so right now I'm dialed into the little details about the offense and not just kind of learning the big picture and trying to figure out, you know, what plays we're running. But I know how to run them. I know how they're ran, and be able to execute's big for me.
Are you able to use that experience to help a guy like Michael Hawkins, who's in that situation now?
For sure. I mean, just little tidbits that I can give him throughout the day on how these plays are run, or even I got something went wrong in practice today, and just giving him advice of what to do wrong. Maybe if he has a bad snap, just following the running back or something little like that. Being in this offense for a year and kind of learning and going through those same mistakes that he did, kind of helps me teach him.
What have you seen from him this spring?
He's a baller, man. Mike's a really good player. He's got a long way to go, though. He's a stud, though. I mean, he's like how I was last spring, you know, just learning the offense, just playing ball how he knows to play ball, and he's a freaking ball. He can spin the ball.
What do you think of your room, all the guys in the room, and what's the camaraderie like between you guys and how you guys are getting along?
Yeah, we're all close. Similar to the group last year, you know, me, Dylan, Davis in general, we're all close last year, and it's getting that way this year. You know, it was a bunch of new guys in the room this year, so getting to know them has been big, but it's starting to get there.
It seems like Jaden Gibson's a guy that we've heard a lot about having a good spring. What have you made of his development this offseason?
Yeah, he stepped up big time. I mean, I wasn't here when Gabe came in as a freshman. I was a year behind him, but I heard stories about, you know, how he needed to grow up and this and that. And the Gabe I'm seeing this spring is balling. You know, he stepped into a leadership role. He's taken lead of that receiver group, and he's really put on a show this spring.
On the other side of the ball, what's kind of stood out about the defense in those scrimmage matchups, things like that so far?
They seem really experienced, and you can tell, you know. Last year there was some busts defensively in the spring, and some certain things they weren't running right. And this year, you know, all their twists are right and their stunts, things are running defensively, disguising coverages. It all looks fluid. Like they're not messing up this year, and it shows.
Are you looking forward to the game?
In practice, when you got a defense that's hitting like that.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, if they're firing all cylinders, it makes it tough on our O-line, makes it tough on my reads. They're an experienced bunch, and they're having a really good spring.
Even you had to scrimmage against them a lot. Are you still looking forward to the game?
For sure. It'll be a great atmosphere. Hopefully the weather will be good Saturday, but it'll be a great atmosphere, a lot of fans, so I'm super pumped up.
You don't want to play in a mud game?
Preferably not.
I know there's a lot of reasons why somebody picks a school, but OU's 21st century tradition of great quarterbacking, how much did that impact your decision to come to OU?
It definitely impacted my decision, just knowing the caliber of QBs that came before me, and just knowing that I wanted to be a part of that group really stood out to me. You know, being in a lineage of Heisman winners is obviously something I want to join, and following in those footsteps is the place where I wanted to be.
How much extra responsibility do you feel like that puts on you? I mean, do you feel the pressure of playing up to that standard?
I mean, not really. You know, I feel like there's pressure everywhere you go playing quarterback, especially at a school like this, going to the SEC for the first time. There's going to be pressure for anything I do, and I don't think necessarily being in that lineage adds more pressure, but I mean, it is awesome being behind Heisman winners like that.
Jackson, what's it been like working with Deion Burks this spring, and how have y'all's chemistry grown throughout these practices?
It's been great so far. Deion's a great guy, even better person off the field. But, I mean, on the field, that dude's a stud. I mean, he's as fast as can be, as twitchy as can be. That dude always gets open. I can trust him to go up and catch the ball whenever.
Jackson, you mentioned it being much less stressful this time around. Did having Coach Luttrell kind of in the room with the quarterbacks last year kind of help you at all now that we're here in this moment?
For sure. Last spring and last summer and fall even, I got close with Coach Luttrell, just talking to him and him teaching me certain things about just the offense we were running, because he ran the similar things at UNT. But starting that relationship back then was big for me, and it kept us close and made me affirm that I wanted him to be my coach going forward.
How different is it having him as a QB's coach when he's a guy that a lot of his career he spent with tight ends and running backs?
It's a little different. You know, him and Levy are obviously different personalities, so it's different getting adjusted to him. But I mean, he's a great person, a great coach, and he's been coaching us really well.
Jackson, how much of a difference maker you feel like Ballard Sharp can be in this offense with what you've gotten a chance to see from him this spring?
Huge. You know, an underrated part of our offense is the tight end, that H-back spot, and being able to use him so far this spring. That dude can go up and catch anything. He's fast, he's athletic, he's twitchy. I mean, he's super reliable too. So I'm super excited about Ballard. He's been having a great spring.
I saw Jaleel. It looks like he's kind of banged up, got hurt. How big of a loss is that? But also, how do you feel about the other guys being able to step up?
It's a big loss. Obviously, one of our starters is obviously going to be a huge loss, losing somebody like that. But I think it's good for our younger guys to kind of step up. And like I said, with Gibb and JJ stepping up into that role for Jaleel, it's been big to get those guys, because Jaleel's got experience. Jaleel knows what's going on. This is his fourth spring ball. He knows how it's run. So getting those guys to step up and get more reps has been big for them. But it hurts losing Jaleel, because he's our stud.
What have you seen from just the defense this spring, how they've developed, and what's it been like going against them this spring?
Yeah, they've been tough to go against. You know, Coach V runs everything under the sun defensively, and they're firing all cylinders too. Everything they're doing together, whether that's disguising their coverages or running their blitzes, their stunts, their twists. They've been doing really good.
Do you notice any differences maybe from last year, or are they even more comfortable this year, maybe doing that kind of disguises, things like that?
I can tell they're a lot more comfortable, a lot less coverage bust than last year for sure. Even this far into the spring, not near as many coverage busts. They're playing together. They're making a ton of plays.
Jackson, I know it's going back a ways, but we haven't had the chance to talk to you since right after the game ended. Haven't had the opportunity to digest it a little more. What do you feel like you've learned from your lone start last year in the Alamo Bowl?
Just kind of honestly, putting that game behind me is the biggest thing I took away from it. You know, one game doesn't define me, so I'm not going to dwell on that. But, again, I want to look back at that game and look at the mistakes I made, whether it's hanging on my reads too long or not moving on to my reads, or throwing late over the middle, things like that. Little things like that is big for me to learn and take into the spring. But overall, just kind of pushing that game behind me because it doesn't define me.
Jackson, you were one of the players that back in February, announced that you were partnering with EA Sports for the game when it comes out. What are you looking forward to about that, and just how cool is that going to be to get to play as yourself and these other guys?
Yeah, it's awesome. That was my childhood growing up. I remember playing on my my Xbox 360 with my cousins and my friends, playing I think it was NCAA 14. I forgot who was on the cover, some Michigan player, but that was my game growing up, and I knew one day that I want to be playing D1 ball and want to be in that game. So it's awesome. They're revamping it, and I'm excited to be partnered with them.
What team did you play with growing up?
I was a Georgia fan growing up, so I'd play with Georgia a lot.
Jackson, we probably won't get to talk to you much, maybe some on Saturday after the game, but Dylan did a lot in the summer with receivers. I think he had the dime time, retreat and all that. Have you thought at all about what your plans are for the summer and doing anything like that and working out with some of these guys?
Yeah, I definitely want to get retreats going with these guys. I'm planning on, I haven't got with the guys yet, but I'm planning on after spring ball's done to get the whole offense together and do a little cookout or something, hang out with each other, and in the summer doing retreats like that with different position groups. It's something I plan to do.
How important is that bonding over the summer, not only just building cohesion on the field but also off the field?
It's huge because you got to be friends with the guys that you're playing with and the guys you're essentially going to war with. I don't want to go out there not trusting the receivers I'm throwing to, and it's vice versa for them. They don't want to go out there and catch balls from a dude they don't talk to or hang out with.
Running back room, Caleb, obviously a guy you came in with. What kind of jump have you seen him make so far, and what can he be for you guys in year 2 for him?
He's made a big jump so far. He's been really physical, really competitive this spring. He's running the ball hard. You can tell on film, you can tell on the field. He's putting good stuff on film, and I'm super proud of him.
What did you see some of the other guys in that running back room?
They're all playing hard. I mean, I feel like they're all making people miss, making good cuts, finding the holes, finding creases, and I feel like they're all playing super fast and doing a really good job, especially in the passing game too, knowing their pass protection rules and their routes and just getting upfield quick.
Are you looking forward to showing the fans what this offense can do?
I am. I hope we come out super explosive Saturday and just give the fans a show.
Thanks, Jackson.